Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Janvi and this is my Travel Europe Diaries. So after 1 week in Europe, I was done with my conference in Heidelberg and I decided to explore Munich, which is one of the major cities in Germany and was also very close to Heidelberg. So here I booked a hostel near the train station so I could just easily walk everywhere, and I was here for 3 days. On my first day, I reached here in the evening, and after checking into my hotel, I just roamed around near the Marienplatz and explored the city a little bit. Then for dinner, I went to a place called Augustiner, and this place was amazing. It had complete Bavarian vibes, and the people were so friendly and nice here. I just had pasta because I was not in the mood for eating non-veg, and most Bavarian food has non-veg, so I guess I just enjoyed being part of the vibe. After that, I just roamed around for a bit longer and then went back to my hostel. Even though Munich seemed like a very safe city, but I didn't want it to be out alone late at night, so yeah, that was all for the first day in Munich. The next day, I was up early in the morning, ready to explore the city. I started my day with a coffee in my hostel, and then I moved on to finding a place for some good breakfast. I went to this place called One Nation, which was very popular, and I had to wait in line before I could get a table, but the food was really good and I guess the wait was worth it. Once I was all charged up, I started exploring and I started my day with the new town hall. So they actually have this wonderful clock show which happens 11 o'clock in the morning every day. There was actually a huge crowd waiting for it, as you can see, and yeah, I think it is one of the highlight about Munich, so you have to see it if you're here. So there are many churches near Marienplatz, and if you want to see an amazing view of the city, you have to go on the top of at least one of them, and that is what I did next. There is also a small fee for going to the top of the church towers, but it's totally worth it. But something that you should remember is that there are going to be a lots of stairs, and to me it almost felt like climbing a mountain, but yeah, the view was totally worth it, and I think it's actually the climb that makes the view even better. It's like a mountain. Hopefully the view will be really nice. And after climbing those gazillion stairs, I was finally on the top, and like I said, the view of the city was totally worth it, and yeah, it was beautiful. After that, I went to Hofbräuhaus, which is one of the oldest brewery in Munich. And again, this place has amazing, authentic Bavarian vibes. And here I had a full beer in the middle of the day, and then I was buzzing for the rest of the day. But I guess that is the Bavarian way to do it. And then I moved towards Munich residence, which was a slightly different part of the city. To be honest, I did not had a clear defined map in my hand, and I did not had pre-planned how I was going to explore places. I just had a few places in mind, and I thought I'm just gonna see whatever comes first and whatever I feel like doing. I'm not saying that's the best way to do it. You can probably do it more efficiently. But honestly, I enjoyed doing it this way because that way you keep getting surprises and end up exploring completely new places that you wouldn't have found otherwise. So I did not went inside the Munich residence because the tickets seemed a bit expensive and I was not very much in the mood of museum. So I instead walked towards a river which was nearby, and it was at least a 2 kilometer walk, but it was totally worth it because I found this really nice park bench near the trees and the sun was shining, so it was a perfect spot to relax for a while. I ended up journaling there for at least an hour. After that, I found this really nice road alongside the rivers. There was also this small pool full of ducks, which was so nice. There were kids playing around it, and I was glad that I found this really sweet spot outside the city. And then I started walking towards English Garden, another popular spot in Munich. But sadly, the battery in my phone was almost dying and I did not have a charger, so I had to rush back. And since it was a Sunday, most places were closed. But thankfully I found a restaurant which was open and they let me charge my phone, and they also had very good food. But yeah, that was a nice day. And to top it all, the cherry on the top, I found some guys playing basketball and I actually asked them if I could join them, and they were so nice to let me play with them. So I ended up playing with them for another hour, and yeah, that was the perfect ending to an amazing day in Munich. On my final day in Munich, I wanted to keep things light because I was a little tired from all the walking. So I started my day with some breakfast and then just roamed around. I didn't want to go too far from the train station because I also had my bag with me. So luckily I found this really nice park nearby which was full of flowers, and it was a sunny day, so I wanted to just sit and relax and soak in the sun. So I found a park bench nearby and I started journaling, and I just sat there for a while. This was actually a really nice moment of peace that I used to reflect and realize that I was actually kind of living the dream in the moment. I always thought about traveling Europe and I was actually finally able to do it now. And I think that's one of the many benefits of traveling alone, that you get to do things at your own pace and you can do whatever you want and whenever you want to take a break and just sit and relax. And even though it may seem a little scary at first, but I think we all should at least once in our life try to travel alone and experience it and, realize how much fun it can be. So yeah, that was all about Munich, and after that I was headed towards Salzburg, which was another small and beautiful city in Austria. It was less than 2 hours away from Munich, so I decided to go there while I was already so close. I also want to say that train journeys in Europe are super comfortable and affordable. So if you have the time, you should definitely choose that as your mode of transport. And also, when you're in Europe in winters, don't forget to try out their strawberries, because I'm sure they're the best in the world, and I had too many of those and they are highly recommended. I've also added the link to the hotel and the restaurants in the description in case it might be helpful for anyone. And that was all for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of these, stay tuned to the channel. Coming up next would be exploring Salzburg. And that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching.